And if you want to try fishing for the first time, our guest Jason Matady of getfishing.ca can tell you all about how to take advantage of it. Jason, thanks for joining us this morning. Careful you're pointing that thing, my goodness.
Here, I'll just turn it this way maybe, so because it definitely is loaded with a hot lure that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes here.
Oh, perfect. So she's ready to go. So I guess, Jason, what is Free Fishing Weekend?
Well, Free Fishing Weekend is, we have it twice a year, once in the summer, once in the winter, and what it really is, it is that opportunity to try fishing for the first time where you do not need a license. So what that means is you don't have to have that part of your repertoire for fishing, but you still have to have a few basic things. You have to have your rod, your reel, a way to make a hole in the ice, and of course you still have to follow the regulations.
So I guess what are some of these regulations you're speaking about?
Well, you know, you have to follow the limits, for example. Like, so for walleyes in most of the province, our most popular sport fish, you're only allowed to keep 4 of those fish, and only one of them can be over that 21-inch range. In places like Blackstrap, closer to Saskatoon, the limit is even less. So if you go to getfishing.ca, we have a link to the provincial government website right there, and everything you need to know about the regulations, because it's really, really important that you follow those.
Well, for any beginners, what would a beginner need to get fishing this weekend?
Well, as I was saying, it's obviously you need a rod and reel, a few of these lures that I'm talking about here, and you definitely need to find a way to make a hole in the ice. Now, as we know, it's been a cold winter. It's cold today, so cold days like this, we're making ice like crazy out there. So if you can find somebody or know of somebody with an engine on the end of their auger to drill some holes for you, that's a really, really good way to go this time of year. Otherwise, you're doing the manual, I'm talking this stuff, cranking through the ice. And we're well over 70 centimeters of ice at this point. So you're not going to get too many holes that way, but if you're able to get those few things going in your favor, you should be well set up to at least go out there and have some success.
Well, it sounds like a very exciting weekend indeed. Now, I also understand you have a big announcement for us today.
Absolutely. We have just released our Getting the Drop on Perch, we're calling it, on our YouTube channel that you can also access through getfishing.ca. And what we're talking about is lures like this, and I'll push them as close to the camera as I can. See how we've got the lure much higher than the hook. This one is a chain dropper. This one's called a fast hatch clip. And you can also do it with monofilament fishing line too. And what that does is, at this time of year, fish do get a little lethargic because the water's 2 or 3 degrees. So often, if you can attract them with this part, but hang the morsel, a bait, you put on like a mealworm type of thing, or maybe a minnow head down below, they'll come in and be attracted by that, and then they'll go down and grab that morsel, and they'll come up with it. This is a chain dropper, so it's very easy for them to grab it with very little resistance, and that can often mean the difference. And this is primarily a perch technique, although you can catch walleyes on it too. It's often the difference between maybe 0 fish and a nice limit to take home for dinner.
All right, Jason, much appreciated. Always appreciate the insight. Enjoy the weekend.